This is Mac OS Ken.
Gentleman Jim ups his Apple target, AT&T downplays 5G expectations, and iOS 14 proves popular. It's Tuesday, the 22nd of September, 2020. I'm Ken Ray, and this is news from Mac OS Ken, brought to you by yours truly and sponsored by Sunbasket. Get $35 off your order using promo code MacOSKen at sunbasket.com/MacOSKen. This show is also sponsored by BetterHelp, online counseling that's there for you. How are you doing? If the answer is less than fine, or if you're saying fine but maybe not being completely honest, BetterHelp is there. Maybe you have a specific issue, or maybe you can't put your finger on what exactly is wrong. That's what BetterHelp is for. You answer a series of questions, and they pair you with a licensed professional counseling with whom you can start working right away. Everything, even the counseling sessions, happen through their app, so the information you share is confidential, and it's convenient. Smartphone, tablet, computer, whatever works for you. So many people have been using BetterHelp that they're recruiting additional counselors in all 50 states. If you need help, give BetterHelp a try. As a listener, you'll get 10% off your first month by visiting betterhelp.com/MacOSKen. Join over 1 million people taking charge of their mental health. Again, that is BetterHelp, HELP, betterhelp.com/MacOSKen. One more time, it's betterhelp.com/MacOSKen. And a big thanks to BetterHelp for sponsoring today's show. Citi analyst Gentleman Jim Suva has upped his price target on Apple shares. The Fly outlined his update Monday. Turns out we're worried about our health. That's got us spending money on things to track our health. Things like Apple Watch, new models of which were introduced last week. Not sure you've heard. Quoting The Fly, "Help me! Help me!" Now quoting the website The Fly, Suva increased estimates for Apple's Wearables segment to reflect continued demand strength in consumer spending on technology gadgets, especially those that enable improved productivity and improved ability to track one's health. Plus, now it's fun for the whole family, thanks to Family Setup. Suva thinks that'll help drive additional customers to the user base, which is a total Norman Rockwell way to think of Grandpa and the kids. Finally, he sees big things for the next round of iPhones, just in time for the holidays. Gentleman Jim has a buy rating on Apple shares. He used Monday's note to up his price target on the shares from $112.50 to $125. Boy, iPhone 5G is going to be a really big thing. Or, not. That seems to be the mixed message from Jeff McElfresh, CEO, AT&T Communications. The website for CNBC wrote up an appearance by the CEO on the Fintertainment channel. "I've always tried to soften folks' expectations around 5G, said McElfresh. Now let me stop me right there. Maybe he personally has done that. I don't think you could argue that AT&T has. They've been so excited about 5G that they put 5GE on the screens of their phones in a seeming attempt to convince people that they already had 5G, and isn't it awesome? Of course, that was before #these uncertain times. McElfresh says while some customers will go for the blazing fast 5G-ness, others will hang back to 4G because they won't want to spend more on the extra G. Quoting the CEO, "I do believe that you will see many of the iPhone subscribers move to upgrade to the device, but I wouldn't forecast that it's going to be a massive event. I also don't think it's going to be a non-event. I think customers, based on the pressures of the economy that we're all facing today, will make a calculated decision as to what they want to do." I must confess, I spend a lot of time angry these days when the CEO of AT&T says the pressures of the economy that we're all facing today. I'd be willing to bet there are pressures, and then there are pressures, neither of which are felt by the CEO of AT&T. In fairness, McElfresh does bring up one point that I brought up a few times on In a Few Minutes. CNBC sums up a portion of his thinking, saying while 5G technology has been touted as the future of internet connectivity, paving the way for autonomous vehicles and smart appliances, initial reception could be muted because many of the groundbreaking applications of faster speeds either don't broadly exist yet or are beneficial to large businesses rather than consumers. So iPhone 5G may be big, but 5G adoption may lag. Maybe that's what he's saying. People love them some widgets. That's the thinking of Oliver Haslam over at iMore. If you're wondering what makes him think so, now hear this. After less than a week of availability, adoption of iOS 14 has hit 26%. The piece says numbers from the tracking firm Mixpanel indicate adoption at 26.32% after only 5 days out to the public. That said, a grain of salt may be in order. The data is based on visits to websites and ad impressions generated by mobile apps, according to iMore, so it's far from 100% accurate. It gives one a good point of comparison, though. The piece says after 5 days of release for iOS 13, adoption was only up to 20%. Last week, I brought you a piece from Cult of Mac covering how to bug out of Apple's public beta program and why you might want to do so. The reason why, submitted by the cult, was concerned that you might not get fixes and security patches as they come out. I will say for me, joining the public beta program is an annual event, something my iPad and I do every year or every other year as the public release draws near. My early look at what's coming. The second the public release hits, though, it's goodbye to the beta program and see you in another year or two. I seriously forget that that is a thing that happens all the time. If you don't, and if you're still on the beta train, newer than newness out for you this week. A few pieces from iMore herald the arrival of the latest public betas for iOS 14.2, iPadOS 14.2, watchOS 7.1, and tvOS 14.2. If you're not in the beta program and want to be, point your browser to beta.apple.com. A quick question, by the way, for those of you running watchOS 7 on an Apple Watch Series 3. Is the hand-washing timer thing working for you? I'd have sworn that articles that came out last week indicated that it would work for Apple Watch Series 3. Over the weekend, though, when I updated my Apple Watch, the option to activate the hand-washing feature was not there. I knew I had read in at least one article that that feature would work on Series 3. Going back to check other articles, though, most don't say which models it will work on. Figuring there had to be a problem, I went to Apple's site. There, I found a support article under the headline, "Wash your hands with Apple Watch Series 4 or later." So 3 questions. Did the hand-washing timer work for Series 3 and the watchOS betas? Did Apple say originally that it would work on Series 3? And has Apple quietly retconned that information out of existence? Hit me up on Twitter and let me know, or shoot me an email, info@macosken.com. More news in a moment, but first a word from Sunbasket, delivering oven-ready meals that are fast, fresh, and delicious. Want to skip the grocery store but still enjoy delicious, healthy food without having to go out? Do it with fresh and ready meals from Sunbasket. Delivered weekly, Sunbasket's fresh and ready meals are made with organic fresh produce, sustainable seafood, and meats that are free of antibiotics, hormones, and steroids. Also, they're tasty. The chefs have won Michelin awards and a James Beard award. I will say everything that I've had from Sunbasket has been great. And the fresh and ready meals are easy. Ready to heat in the oven or microwave, which could mean dinner for you in as little as 6 minutes. Give Sunbasket a try. Right now, Sunbasket is offering $35 off your order when you go right now to sunbasket.com/macOSKen and enter promo code macOSKen at checkout. That's sunbasket.com/macOSKen and enter promo code macOSKen at checkout for $35 off your order. sunbasket.com/macOSKen and enter promo code macOSKen. And a big thanks to Sunbasket for sponsoring today's show. While I wonder what's up with my old Apple Watch, the good people at iFixit are busting up a new one. Mac Rumors says the fix-it-yourself folks have done their usual teardown of Apple's latest chronometer, trying to figure out how easy it is to get apart, what's inside, and how easy it would be to put back together. While Apple Watch Series 6 looks pretty much the same as the Series 5 on the outside, new features like blood oxygen monitoring require changes to the watch's interior. The battery's a little bigger, as is the Taptic engine. Despite the increase in size for those internal components, Apple was actually able to make the watch's case a tiny bit thinner. That said, the real news may be in the repairability. Quoting Mac Rumors, since Force Touch has been removed, there is no Force Touch gasket component, which makes it easier to tear into the new Apple Watch models. iFixit also found fewer cables for a more streamlined design that offers easier repairs. Easier battery and screen replacements help the device to a repairability score of 6 out of 10. Points off, though, for the flex cables mounted directly to the S6 package and the tiny tri-point screws that hold things in place. A word of warning for you would-be watch wearers. If you're thinking of getting a Series 6 with one of the new solo loop or braided solo loop bands, be really careful picking the size. A piece from Apple Insider says if you have to return the band, you have to return the watch as well. According to the report, while a more logical, economical, and environmentally conscious policy would call for customers to send in the poor-fitting band for replacement, Apple requires a complete return because the setup is considered a configure-to-order purchase. Of course, Series 6 models are currently hard to get. That means Series 6 replacements are currently hard to get. The piece says some people have had luck exchanging just the loop bands at retail locations. That's not guaranteed, though, and hashtag these uncertain times. The monthly payment option for AppleCare Plus has reached across the Atlantic. Apple Insider says the relatively new plan, which lets people cover certain Apple devices by paying every few weeks rather than having to pay for 2 years up front, that plan has made its way to the UK and Germany. That brings the monthly option to 6 countries. The monthly plan was already available in Australia, Canada, Japan, and the US. And finally today, want to get deep inside Tim Cook's head? Well, you can't. But he did peel back some of the layers in an interview that hit the web this week. Both Mac Rumors and CNET have written up an interview between Apple CEO and The Atlantic, part of the Atlantic Festival, socially distanced and digital as is the way this year. Want to know how Cook feels about all the antitrust talk around Apple? He thinks big companies deserve scrutiny. At the same time, he doesn't see Apple as a monopoly. Serious scrutiny would reveal that in his estimation. Want to know how he feels about the hashtag new normal, the one where people work from home rather than in the office? He says 10 to 15% of office staff are back at their desks, while he looks forward to a time when more people are back in the office, allowing for better collaboration and accidental meetings. Some stuff has actually worked better at a distance, and It's probably going to stay that way from now on. Want to know how he feels about climate change? He hopes that the catastrophic wildfires, hurricanes, and flooding visiting the country as we speak will clue people in to climate change actually being a thing. And finally, want to know about his relationship with President Trump? Cue the crickets. Both MacRumors and CNET had the CEO saying his conversations with the president are private and he didn't want to share them. Asked to assess the administration's handling of the pandemic, CNET says Cook declined. What he did talk about is why he keeps talking. We've heard him say it before. I believe that it's much better to be involved, whether you're in agreement on an issue, or I think it's even more important to engage when you disagree on something. And so what we do at Apple is we focus on policy. We don't focus on the politics. And so it keeps us out of the sort of daily scrum of politics and keeps us very focused on the things that are very important to us. One wonders how history will remember such statements. That quote, or portions of it, were in both the CNET and MacRumors report. Unfortunately, I have not had a chance to watch the interview yet. Probably going to do that when I'm done doing this. In the meantime, you can see Cook's interview for yourself on YouTube. Search for Atlantic Festival, then look for day 1. The interview starts about 15 minutes in. Coming up in a few minutes, Parallel host Shelley Brisbane and I were going to talk about Apple Watch SE, but we've got time. Instead, we talked about the trinity of services that is Apple One, with a side trip into third-party content bundles for the Apple TV app. Wrapping up bundles in a few minutes. Listen where you get podcasts or on YouTube, youtube.com/KenRay. macOS Ken, brought to you by me and sponsored by BetterHelp, online counseling that's there for you. Get 10% off your first month at betterhelp.com/macOSKen. This show is also sponsored by Sunbasket. Get $35 off your order using promo code macOSKen at sunbasket.com/macOSKen. Advertising handled by Backbeat Media, online at backbeatmedia.com. You can reach me a couple of ways. Info at macOSken.com or call 716-780-4080. We will talk again tomorrow. Until then, that is news from macOS Ken. I'm Ken Ray.
Ciao.